rad, more like bad. Hello everyone, welcome back to a long-awaited episode of Gen Z in the 80s. It's been what, since Halloween? My bad. So I have received a lot of suggestions for movies, and I have personally come up with ideas for movies, and that includes Hiding Out. That one has John Cryer. I saw it a few years ago with my dad. It's quite ridiculous. Cocktail, Jimmy Reardon. I know there's a longer title, but whatever. I don't remember it. I just wrote down Jimmy Reardon. I had never even heard of this movie until someone suggested it to me in the comments, and it has River Phoenix. How did I not hear about this? It looks atrocious. I'm looking forward to it. The Big Chill, Blue City, Major League. I discovered 18 again, and I was like, wow, that looks like trash. I can't wait. Valley Girl. I heard Valley Girl is actually a fun time, but we'll see. Teen Wolf 2 was suggested to me, and Teen Wolf 2 has been on my radar for a while because a movie on the IMDb bottom 200 I can't resist. Also, I have something else planned for both Teen Wolf movies, so stay tuned. And I came up with this because it's one of my mom's favorites, Tough Turf. I heard it's something else, but she's the same one who thinks Dream a Little Dream is a cinematic masterpiece. But for months now, my dad has been begging me to review this movie. And I'm finally giving in and reviewing 1986's Rad. There's not much to introduce with this movie. It's about dudes riding bikes. There's a forced love interest in there. And I guess something about these business guys. And yeah, that's it. It's not good. Don't get me wrong, the bike riding is impressive. Like, I can't even ride a bike normally. I mean, I can ride a bike, just not well. But bike riding makes up a good 75% of this movie. Whatever, let's talk about it. So the movie has opening credits that last, I'm not kidding, 4 minutes. It's just dudes riding bikes. There's really nothing going, oh boy! The jokes are truly gonna write themselves with this video. I know this is obviously a bike riding movie, but like, why are they wasting all the cool tricks in like the first 4 minutes of the movie? Shouldn't they like build up to all of this later? You know, save the good stuff for later? No? Okay, whatever. After the opening credits, we meet our main character, Crew. He's a newspaper delivery boy, so you know what that means. Yay, more bike riding. I will say though, this movie didn't have false advertising. So we are 8 minutes into the movie. And what do we know about this movie? Now we're at our high school where Crew is surrounded by actual teenagers, and so it makes him look hilariously older. Ben Platt who? Anyway, Crew apparently used to date this girl, and in the grand scheme of things, who cares? So then we see this press conference where these people have decided to have this BMX race called Hell Track, and it is the most boring movie scene in the universe. And honestly, did we really need to see all this? There's no music. The scene has like nothing interesting to look at. It's boring. We are 12 minutes into this movie. That's it. I'm bringing up Back to the Future. I gotta do it sometimes. I'm sorry. I promise this will matter. What do we know about Marty McFly in the first 12 minutes of Back to the Future? He's hot. Okay, that was my take. I'll be serious now. We know he's impulsive for when he turns on Doc's speaker. We know he's a bit careless since he's late to school multiple times. But he's a fun guy since he likes to ride his skateboard and he's in a band and he has a girlfriend. And we know he wants to take his girlfriend Jennifer to the lake over the weekend, but his mom is like, ew, no. So you know he has a tiny bit of a strict home life. And we know he lets people's opinions get the best of him because he wants to quit music after one failed talent show audition. And this includes the opening credits. What do we know about Crew in the first 12 minutes of this movie? He rides bikes. He has an ex-girlfriend. I guess he's a daredevil. We know this because he likes to ride bikes. We then cut to a Kix commercial, clearly the most radical cereal on the market, and also some of the most... You know that scene in Napoleon Dynamite where Pedro does the bike trick and then the camera zooms in on Napoleon's face? Well...
Oh, contest.
I hear you talking, but I'm not believing.
This looks like a mockumentary. Is this is Spinal Tap? So Crew and his friends are talking about this guy named Bart Taylor who totally will not be the 80s movie bully when they are interrupted by this cop. This starts a bike chase, and the movie implies that this is something that Paul Blart and these kids do as like a friendly rivalry. We are 16 minutes into this godforsaken movie, and all that's happened so far is bike riding, the most boring press conference in the world, and some mention about some bully that hasn't even shown up yet. That's it. I'm comparing this movie to Airborne. I reviewed Airborne a while back if you want to go check that out after you watch this video. I'm kidding. I really don't care. Watch it now. Watch it later. Do what you want. Something that Airborne did right was save like the whole marketing of the movie, like the whole point of the movie, the rollerblading, for the very end. There was like some sprinkles of rollerblading here and there, but they saved all the good stuff for the end. I mean, the ending is one 20-minute giant rollerblading race. The movie delivered on the promise at the end. And guess what? Because it was saved for the very end, it had a purpose, and we already knew the characters involved. It was a lot more fun and satisfying to watch, and it wasn't something we had already seen like a million times before. Want to know what else Airborne did right? Stuff actually happened in that movie. That movie may be dumb and goofy and strange at times, but it's enjoyable. Rad? I'm bored. I'm bored. We then see Crew's little sister kick a kid for wearing a Bart Taylor t-shirt because apparently BMX riding is like the biggest thing in this town, apparently. We also get some really bad ADR.
What are you doing? No,
Yes,
no.
Wesley.
So we finally meet Crew's mom. Insert Rocky joke here. And it's revealed that the race is the same day he has to make up for his SATs, which, as of now, is the main conflict of this movie. We are 19 minutes into this kind of a stupid conflict. They haven't said it yet. They will later. I don't know why they didn't say it yet at this point in the movie. But Crew has the chance to win $100,000, a new car, and fame. Can he make up his SATs on another day? And like, can he take a semester or two off of college if he needs to?
Hi, editing Avery here. I smudged my makeup because I didn't wipe it off and I rubbed my eye. Anyway, I literally just now thought about this while editing. Don't you take your SATs when you're a junior in high school? So shouldn't Crew have already taken his SATs by now? Like, I never took the SAT because at my school it was the ACT, but I took all of that my junior year, and then the next year it was using that score to apply to colleges, and then you could retake it if you, like, wanted to. This makes this entire plot, like, conflict an even less of a big deal than it was in the first place. I hate this movie.
I understand this is probably still like a hard decision for him, but like in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. Maybe it was different in 1986. Oh, and we get some really bad editing in this scene. You can enjoy that.
I know, mother.
I don't want to hear any more about it.
More bike riding. Skip. Now there's this parade celebrating the race, and Bert and these preppy BMX bikers are all like, ew, hell track's in this town? In case you didn't know who the bad guys are. Speaking of bad guys, there's Lori Loughlin. Lori Loughlin, by the way, her name is Christian in this movie, but I'm gonna choose to ignore that. And Crew see each other, and it's love at first sight. In the very next scene, Crew tries to impress his ex, even though the movie literally just established Lori Loughlin as a love interest, but whatever. This is a visual representation of how I feel about this movie. We then get to the school dance scene, because it wouldn't be an 80s teen movie without it. Woohoo. This is the most brightly lit school dance I've ever seen. What is going on? Oh, and the businessmen behind Hell Track are also at this dance for some reason. And for whatever reason, this movie feels the need to cut back to them discussing Hell Track. And I guess I shouldn't complain because this movie has a plot point, but at the same time, this plot point is so boring, I'd rather it not be here. Because the target demographic for this movie is like tweens, younger teens, and What 12-year-old in their right mind is going to enjoy this? So Crew brings his bike to the dance because he doesn't have another personality trait, and Lori Loughlin is into it. And you can tell with this Office, Parks and Rec looking camera zoom. Why is there a dance number? What is happening? This is the widest thing I've ever seen. So Lori Loughlin bikes into the dance, and we get this line.
Could have showed some respect and at least wait till I was done dancing.
So then Lori Loughlin and Crew do this bike routine in the middle of the dance to the song Send Me an Angel.
Send me an angel. Send me an angel.
And it is truly the type of goofy shenanigans I would have expected in a movie called Rad about BMX racing. This scene is so bad, but it is so funny. It is truly one of like 3 scenes in this movie that actually keep me entertained, so I'll take it. And what makes this scene so funny, they want you to take this seriously. They want people watching this movie to think this is like the coolest thing ever. There is no self-awareness happening here. I can't play the full thing, but please watch this full scene, please. It's fantastic, to the point where Lori Loughlin becomes a man for a few seconds. So after one of the only entertaining things in this movie, Bart and 2 of his lady friends go to a diner, and I guess this scene is to show how much the town is kissing Bart's butt, but whatever, who cares? The next scene is Lori Loughlin helping Crew do a flip, who cares? Lori Loughlin and Crew flirt a little.
You took off so quick, I thought maybe there was something about me you didn't like.
I don't know, maybe it's the whole I didn't believe in my daughters enough, so I helped cheat their way into college, taking that opportunity away from someone who actually deserves it thing. We then get into a love montage with this really cheesy love song playing over it.
Surprise would be, what if my dream came true?
This sappy, slow love song playing in this kind of movie is so jarring, it's hilarious. And I love how inconsistent this scene is because they switch from being wet and dry constantly. And then Crew and Lori Loughlin talk about college. This one writes itself.
And besides, you don't have to give up college. My sister took 6 months off and then she went back to school. It didn't hurt her.
Okay, I hate to say it, but Lori Loughlin is making a fair point about college here. I just love it when a main character of a movie presents a pretty easy solution to one of the main conflicts of the movie, so it makes that part pointless, so like, who cares? So Crew's sister forges their mom's signature, so now he can compete in Hell Track. I literally forgot that he's supposed to be a minor. Also, we are now 40 minutes into this movie. Let's recap what has happened so far. Crew rides a bike. He wants to compete in Hell Track, but oh no, the SATs are the same day. This BMX superstar dude named Bart comes to town, and he's a big meanie. I mean, he doesn't really actually do like that mean of things. He's just kind of a snob, but whatever. He counts as the 80s movie bully, I guess. Lori Loughlin and Crew ride bikes during a school dance. Lori Loughlin and Crew start dating, I guess. Crew decides to compete in Hell Track after all, even though it was pretty clear he was going to do it from the very beginning. Oh, and occasionally these businessmen show up and talk about how excited they are for Hell Track. That'll be explained later, even though it should have already clearly been explained, because it's been 40 minutes. All the stuff that has happened already should have happened within like 20 to 25 minutes. But no, 20 minutes of what we've seen so far has been dedicated to bike tricks. I mean, I will say it, if you're here for bike tricks, you'll be very pleased. So for the next few minutes, the businessmen are hyping up Hell Track and exposition dumping about the rules that should have been explained a lot sooner than 40 minutes into the movie. So this race we're about to see is not Hell Track, but it's the race to get people to qualify for Hell Track. Then we get another bike race. But I've seen a lot of biking already, so who cares? I'm skipping. Then we get another race that I'm going to skip. Then we get another race that I also skipped. So now Crew has qualified for Hell Track. I'm not even going to pretend like I care. If you had to fast forward through 3 identical looking races, you'd be fed up with this movie too. So Crew's mom catches him, and by the way, she's too good for this movie. And then he's all like, I can take the SATs in 6 months. And she's all like, make me that promise that you will take the SATs in 6 months. Wow, look at that. One of the main conflicts of this movie already dealt with in 2 sentences. I'm so done with this movie. I hate this movie so much. So now Bart's girls flirt with Crew because he's hot stuff now, apparently. Then one business dude calls Crew over, but then it cuts to Bart's girls shopping, and like, who cares? Then it's cut back to Crew turning down an offer. I think this is their way of not having to write down as much dialogue, no matter how important it should be. Oh no, we have a tough scene to write. What if we cut it to 2 random characters shopping? What are they shopping for? It won't matter, but we won't have to write that dialogue. You're a genius. You find out later that Crew was offered a sponsorship and a lot of money to throw the race. I'm not sure why they didn't just show him offering Crew the deal. Oh wait, the person who wrote this movie is lazy. Oh yeah, so the reason why the businessman wanted Crew to throw the race is because he's Bart's sponsor and he has a lot of money to bet on him. Wow, this movie finally gets a major conflict almost an hour in. So now there's this new rule in place that you need a sponsor to compete in Hell Track, and this was put in place specifically to stop Crew from riding. We also get a not so subtle Coke product placement.
Well, like, for instance, hi, Jer. He obviously races for Coke.
Coke? It's big time.
There's been a few of these in this movie, actually. Anyway, Crew's little sister makes a shirt for him to race in. I can't lie, that's adorable. And this gives Crew an idea. So they decide to start a t-shirt business, so Crew technically has a sponsorship. I can't lie, that's actually pretty smart. Not sure if it works like that, but I'll take it. But then we see them make the t-shirts, and it's really awkward because there is absolutely no music playing over this. In fact, this moment made me realize that a lot of this movie doesn't have music in it. Did they blow most of the budget on Sammy and Angel? So Crew and Lori Loughlin's stunt double ride their bikes into the lake in another romantic scene similar to the one before. Then Crew talks about the time he learned how to ride a bike.
It's like a whole new life. All of a sudden, it was like I was in control. I could go as fast as I wanted. It was scary, but it felt good.
Crew, that's everyone's first time riding a bike. You're not special. This is not poetic. So they continue to sell shirts. They're selling them for $10, and I looked it up, and that's about $25 today. That's a little expensive. So now they're trying to shut it down again because it turns out they need to make at least $50,000 in sales. I can't lie, this entire exchange was kind of funny. So Lori Loughlin finds Crew sulking, and she gets mad that he has given up because he doesn't have enough money to race. You know what, Lori? Not all of us have enough money to buy our way through things. College placement tests or bike riding. Okay, I'm done. So now our main couple has had a fight. I bet you're grabbing your seat in anticipation, wondering if they're going to get back together by the end, aren't you? Oh no, it's this again. Skip! Crew wins Lori Loughlin back. Wow, it took a whole scene. He wins her back in the cringiest way possible. I can't tell if it's supposed to be cringy or not. The adults raised enough money for Crew. Hooray. So now the businessman orders one of those twins to take Crew out, and this is when Bart realizes that maybe a sensei is bad. It's like if Sweep the Leg Johnny was lame. But Paul Blart from earlier wishes Crew good luck. I can't lie, that's kind of sweet. But then the movie loses me as soon as it takes so long to literally introduce every single rider in the race. Who cares? I understand that the crew of this movie probably wanted to highlight the riders doing this scene, but like from a storytelling standpoint, who cares? The race is on. So you know when your friends are playing Mario Kart, but there's not enough controllers, so you have to sit there and just watch them do 3 laps until it's finally your turn to start the race. Well, this is what watching this race feels like. And the thing is, you never actually get to play in it. At least in Mario Kart, you get to play at the end. Don't get me wrong, the bike riding in this movie is legitimately impressive. Like, they hired actual BMX riders for this movie, and I think that's awesome that they're able to get featured in a movie. I could never race on a track like this. I can't even race on like a flat road. And I looked on IMDb and none of the professional racers were actually able to race on this track. But this track is not fun to watch. Everyone is so close together at times, it's so hard to make out what's going on. And it's not like a very long track either, so we have to watch this 3 times in a row. So then Bart is very far ahead, but he decides to wait for Crew to catch up to him, and Crew wins the race, yay. Bart and Crew make up in the most boring way possible at the end. I don't think Bart and Crew ever talked in this movie. I think they were trying to make Bart like the Johnny Lawrence of this movie, but the thing is, we actually knew Johnny, because he was like an actual character, and him and Daniel talked and fought, but they talked. I mean, I guess you can, like, I guess you could say that Kreese is the main villain of Karate Kid, but Kreese lurks more in the shadows, and I guess you could say, like, oh, the businessmen are the true villains of Rad, but that doesn't make you think about it because they're up in front all the time, and you don't even know Bart, because Bart has no influence. Like, it's, but this movie sucks. This movie sucks. In my opinion, the worst thing you can say about a movie, if it's either offensive or boring, this movie is boring. The characters are bland, the acting isn't good for the most part, and oddly enough, in a movie about BMX riding, there's way too much BMX riding. The pacing in this movie is awful. There's not even a story until about like an hour into the movie. I know this movie is a cult classic. I know people are about to be angry at me in the comments. Probably more than the Karate Kid 3 video I made. And I actually do understand why people like this movie, because if you like bike riding, like, I understand why this movie would be your cup of tea, but it's not mine. And if you're legitimately angry with me for crapping on this movie and about to make a hate comment on me, please go touch some grass, please. I'm about to do it. I'm about to say it. This movie has decrowned Dream a Little Dream for the worst movie I've ever reviewed. I can say this about Dream a Little Dream. It was entertaining in a way. Don't get me wrong. That movie's a dumpster fire. But it sticks with you, you know? It's been over a year since I watched Dream a Little Dream, and I still think about it. The thing is, in Dream a Little Dream, there was potential there. Like, there was a story happening. The story was a mess, but there was like something happening. It has only been a few months since I watched Rad for the first time, because my dad made me watch it, and I forgot almost everything that happened in it up until I watched it again for this review. Anyway, this movie sucks. I learned nothing. I have nothing to say now. I don't have anything to say at the end. I don't know. I know I promised I wouldn't make any more Lori Loughlin college jokes, but I guess my takeaway is don't cheat your way into college. Bye!